planted an orchard in Butte Park in Cardiff after it suffered extensive damage by vandals in an attack last year. Now, the vandals have never been caught. They caused thousands of pounds worth of damage when they snapped trees in half, wrecked the planters and ripped the bins out of the concrete. Well, Julia Sass is the manager of Butte Park and overseeing the replanting project. Morning, Julia.
Good morning, Claire.
I mean, just take us back to that moment last year when you became aware of what had happened and how you felt.
I will, yeah. So the morning of 10th of September last year, we came into work to a scene of utter destruction. One colleague said it was like a tornado had ripped through the park, and he was right. From top to bottom, there was damage. Small trees had been uprooted, large ones had been snapped or sawn off. Shrubs and flowers had been pulled out of borders and strewn all around, bins, planters upended, and more.
Yeah, and so heartbreaking because some of the trees meant an awful lot to some people for deeply personal reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that everybody took that attack quite personally. The park belongs to the people, so it felt like an attack against everyone. But actually, the majority of the trees destroyed had very specific meanings for individual families and organisations. I know that tree donor families had, in the majority of cases, planted them for lost loved ones, parents, grandparents, sadly even grandchildren. And we also had trees destroyed that were funded by charities and businesses.
Yeah, and you know, all these months on now, you know, we have to say what is positive about all of this, if you can hold on to something, is that the community has really come together and work has begun to replant some of the trees. Tell us about the fundraising and how it's all going.
Oh, yes, I will. Well, look at us now. I'm delighted to be here to give such a positive update on this story, really. First, we had the Reclaim the Park event, and then the community fundraiser, as you said, both led by the community. Then we had a call from the Japanese consulate in Wales, who, after hearing about the attack, wanted to extend planting through their Sakura cherry project to Butte Park. And through this, we now have new cherry blossom trees that will flower in succession throughout the spring. And then since last week, we've not only successfully planted our first batch of like-for-like replacements, funded through that community crowdfunder, but we've also gone further and we have a new orchard for people to visit and enjoy. And there's a much larger orchard also on the way.
Wow, so a much larger orchard. Tell us about those plans. What will that be like?
So those plans will be led by the community. So there's a series of consultation events planned shortly. We want to get everybody involved. These orchards are really meant to be a symbol of community resilience and hope, you know, in the face of that attack. So I'd like to say a heartfelt thank you to everybody that's been involved and everybody that will be involved to help us to recover, to plant back even better.
Yeah, and the first batch of trees in the soil, all planted. How long, Julia, how long do you think it will take to replace it and for them all to be back to their very best and flourishing?
I think it will take us a number of planting seasons, sadly, to replace all of the trees that were destroyed. Being an arboretum, our trees are rare, interesting specimen trees, and they're not always ones that you can source quickly. So that will take us a few years, but we're well on our way now, and the orchard planting should start this planting season. So before the end of March, we expect some trees to go in the ground, and then I'm sure it will just develop year on year from there.
And we all look forward to watching it grow. Julia, thank you very much. Good luck with all of it. Julia Sass there, the manager of Butte Park. It's 7 o'clock.